Greetings. I don't know if many of you will remember the fictional character called Fat Albert. He was a guy who loved to play a leapfrog. You could hear Fat Albert coming when it was his turn to jump over his friends playing the game of leapfrog. Fat Albert was also known as Earthquake. You not only heard Fat Albert coming, you could feel his every step on the ground. Well, somehow I got an analogy about that concerning earthquakes. And the Bible often mentions earthquakes. If they are so, and I'm quoting this from another source, they are also a matter of secular records, making these Bible records the same history as found in secular records. Around 750 BC, 2 years before the earthquake, Amos wrote, "The Lord will roar from Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the habitations of the shepherds shall mourn, and the top of Carmel shall wither." That's in Amos chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. The earthquake happened. It is a matter of secular record. About 400 years later, the prophet Zechariah wrote, "Behold, the day of the Lord cometh." Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1. There is a specific time period at the end of the Great Tribulation when the Lord's feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in its midst towards the east and towards the west, and there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. Zechariah 14:4. This hasn't happened yet, but secular record shows there is a great fault line that runs from the top of the Mount of Olives that will include the land from the old city in Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, and split the land to form a very great valley. The fault line has been discovered around the 1960s. The world has known about this for over 50 years. But the prophet Zechariah wrote about this in 2,300 years before. Jesus is coming. Zechariah wrote, "And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one." Zechariah 14:9. The world doesn't believe Zechariah. They know about the Mount of Olives fault, but they don't care. The Mount of Olives is being built up and inhabited. You can stay in a top-flight hotel on the top. The world will not be able to leapfrog the earthquake, the great earthquake, when the Mount of Olives shall cleave in its midst. Jesus is coming.